All right, good evening and welcome to TV47 Weekend Edition. It's my hope that your Saturday has been a good one, as well as your entire weekend looking good. Santi Sana for always keeping it TV47. We have so much lined up for you, including that conversation on Harsey. But first, we have to take a look at what is in the world of the news, and here are the highlights. Tonight on TV47 Weekend Edition, with the U.S. presidential change, Kenya's peacekeeping mission in Haiti faces uncertainty. President Ruto discusses the matter with President-elect Trump, but no clear direction has emerged. And the Health Director General has confirmed the new national polio vaccine is safe as debate over the SHA benefits package continues. We break down what it means for you. Willis Ayeko, the slain Wells Fargo executive, laid to rest in Siaya County. Authorities have arrested a second suspect in his killing, with the family urging faster action for justice. Well, and as the world gears up for the 16 days of activism that begin on the 25th of this month all the way to the 10th of December, it's important that, of course, we have conversations revolving around that. Later on, we get to hear what Honorable Muthoni Wachumba is actually doing towards making sure that, she pushes for a bill or an agenda that is going to make obstetric violence a game of the past. This is violence that is meted on the ladies at a time or at a point where they have gone to sire or to give birth, that is. And of course, we get to hear what she has to say in relation to what the situation is in the country and the bill that she's fronted at the level of Parliament towards making sure that this then becomes a game of the past. But before we get to that, my name is Linda Alela. It's always good having you. We'll be having on the other side, that is Kelvin Makori, taking us through the sign language interpretation. Lots lined up for you. The hashtag, as always, is Harsey. We'll be sampling some of your comments as we continue with the broadcast. And now straight to the news. The Kenya-led Haiti security mission faces uncertainty following Donald Trump's election as the next U.S. president. And President William Ruto of Kenya is now seeking to find a balance and, of course, ensure the mission continuity, as Ruga Ival details.
President William Ruto had a phone call with United States President-elect Donald Trump to congratulate him for the historic win in the just concluded American elections and to discuss several areas of mutual interest for Kenya and the United States of America, such as trade and security. Key among them, we now understand, was the matter regarding the Haiti mission. During his campaign, Trump had expressed a stance of an American involvement in global conflict resolutions that could potentially affect the funding and support of various missions across the world, including the Kenya-Haiti mission, which has been funded by the United States since its inception in June under President Joe Biden's administration. The future of the mission is currently uncertain. Kenya has deployed 400 police officers to Haiti, with an additional 600 officers still undergoing training and are expected to join the mission this month. Recently, President William Ruto and Haiti's Prime Minister Gary Conille appealed to the international community to honor their commitments and provide the necessary resources for the mission. Security experts suggest that if the U.S. decides to withdraw funding, the United Nations would need to revisit the agreement and find alternative solutions to support the Kenyan police officers in Haiti. This situation highlights the delicate balance of international peacekeeping efforts and the impact of changing political landscapes on such missions. The mission's future now hangs in the balance as Kenya and other stakeholders await clarity on the incoming United States administration's stance on international security support.
Every single military group that has gone there, they defeated. Brazilian, the US, Canadian, they defeated all of them. And so far they're doing well. They're going to have to be funded to be there. And the US apparently has the bigger funding level. Trump will cut that on the first day.
This development adds another layer of complexity to an already challenging situation in Haiti, where the Kenyan-led mission has been working to restore stability and combat gang violence. Ruga Evil, TV47.
Thank you, Ruga, for that. And the former Prime Minister Alela Odinga has rallied Africa to unite, telling the continent he is best placed to help Africa unlock its potential and stop making it a mere talking shop. And Odinga, who was flanked by a high-powered Kenyan delegation led by Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, used his Pan-Africanist credentials and his experience in politics to drum up for his candidacy ahead of the poll in Addis, which is 3 months away. Apollo Kamau with that.
Following a series of complaints regarding the current Social Health Insurance Authority, which has faced challenges with its systems, President William Ruto responded by urging Kenyans to embrace the government's health.
With a huge backing from home and a strong government delegation, led by Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi and his allies, former Prime Minister Alela Odinga used his Pan-Africanist credentials and as a former AU top envoy for infrastructure between 2008 and 2012 to campaign for his candidacy in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, in an event attended by African diplomats.
African Union Commission headquarters.
Odinga called for unity and said he will not allow the AU to become a mere talk shop, but will strive to unlock its potential, terming the two issues, lack of unity and more talk than action, as a major hindrance to the continent's progress.
This unity has undermined our ability to mobilize our resources to catalyze the collective dreams of the continent's citizens. Africa's unity is therefore sacred to me. We must return unity to the top of our priorities as Mwalimu Nyerere and Nkrumah did. Without unity in a fast consolidating and changing world, Africa will continue to be marginalized, exploited, and irrelevant. It is why today I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to open your minds to a new Africa.
The Kenya government is banking on an Odinga leadership at the AU helm to push for reforms, a position shared by President Ruto, who is a champion of institutional reforms at the AU. PCS Mudavadi describing Odinga as a complete package the AU needs on the road to Agenda 2063.
I therefore reassure you that Kenya is offering a lifelong Pan-Africanist, an accomplished global statesman who has demonstrated exceptional and visionary leadership. There is much that our continent can utilize from such an elaborate experience. The Honorable Raila Odinga has inherent capabilities to amplify the voice and bargaining power of our continent.
Foreign Affairs PS Dr. Sing'oei Korir extolling Odinga's leadership skills. Given his vast experience in politics, Sing'oei looks at Odinga's age of 79 years as an advantage of experience over his three other competitors from Djibouti, Madagascar, and Mauritius.
Excellencies, we know that the journey of emancipating Africa from economic domination is not a sprint, it is a marathon. The journey of empowering our women, the journey of realizing Agenda 2063 is not a sprint, it is a marathon. And I want to submit to us that Kenya might have one or two things to teach the continent with regard to marathons.
The launch of the Continental Campaign will now see Odinga traverse the continent to meet African heads of states, as his campaign secretariat continues with a multi-pronged approach to reach out to the continent's 5 key regions. Apul Kamau, TV47.
Thank you, Apollo, for that comprehensive report. Now, after a series of complaints concerning the implementation of the new Social Health Authority, SHA, the head of state, William Ruto, has once again come up clear to elaborate why it is necessary for Kenyans to embrace it. And according to Ruto, the new system of health services will help address existing challenges of dealing with chronic diseases. He was speaking during the 20th anniversary celebrations of All Pajeta Conservancy in Laikipia County, where the president was accompanied by a series of leaders, including former Agriculture Minister Mwangi Kiunjuri and Laikipia Senator John Kinyua, as our reporter Paul Kirubi details.
Following a series of complaints regarding the current Social Health Insurance Authority, which has faced challenges with its systems, President William Ruto responded by urging Kenyans to embrace the government's healthcare reforms. He assured the public that the new system will address key issues, particularly the high cost of treating chronic diseases like cancer.
Tumesema ya kwamba tukienda mbele katika Taifa Care ambayo tumepangia vizuri, tuko na sheria ya kutosha, tuko na mpango ya kutosha na tutabadilisha Kenya hii kwa mapenzi ya Mungu.
Speaking during the 20th anniversary celebrations of the El Pajeta Conservancy, President Ruto also reminded the livestock keeping community about plans to vaccinate 55 million goats and sheep starting in January.
We will have a national vaccination program targeting 22 million cows and almost 55 million goats and sheep nationally.
According to the president, the program aims to eliminate livestock diseases and improve the quality of beef, ultimately increasing farmers' income. He also called on county governments to take responsibility in implementing this initiative. Leaders from Laikipia County, including Laikipia Senator John Kinyua and former Agriculture CS Mwangi Kiunjuri, accompanied the president. Senator Kinyua took the opportunity to appeal to the president for assistance in addressing the ongoing human-wildlife conflicts affecting local communities.
Kuna ndugu zetu hapa Matanya kidogo wanapiga kelele kwa mambo ya tumbiri. Tusaidieni jamani. Na tukisaidia tutaendelea kushukuru vile ambavyo tunashukuru. Watu wa sehemu ya Kishakehiri kidogo ndovu zinawasumbua. Lakini hao ndovu najua wanatoka area ya ADC farm. Kwa hivyo mimi ninaungana na wenzangu kusema Your Excellency, hii shamba ya ADC sehemu ichukuliwe iweze kuongozwa na watu wa KWS.
It is reported that All Pajeta Conservancy is home to the last 2 northern white rhinos in the world. The president and his team also assured the country that his administration is investing heavily in the tourism sector, particularly by improving infrastructure to boost tourism and generate more income for the country.
First time since independence, you have supported through my ministry conservancies, especially community conservancies, with infrastructure, that is access roads and water, to boost private sector investment.
Paul Kirobi, TV47.
More on SHA and in what the government terms as an ambitious move to ensure that every Kenyan has access to affordable and quality healthcare. He was deemed fit to transition from NHIF to the Social Health Authority, a new scheme that has faced immense challenges more than a month after it was launched. And as Elizabeth Atieno now takes us through the benefits package that is for the 3 funds under the Social Health Authority, the question is, just what is in it for Kenyans?
In the SHA benefits package, the outpatient care services, which include diagnosis, consultations, screening, immunization, management of non-communicable and non-tropical diseases, will be accessible from level 2 to 4 primary health care facilities with a package of 900 Kenya shillings per person per annum. This means that the government needs 50.5 billion to cater for the outpatient services under the primary health care fund. Maternal, newborn and child health services at level 2 to 6 health facilities will be covered at a cost of 11,200 Kenya shillings for normal delivery at a maximum of 48 hours stay and 32,600 Kenya shillings for cesarean section with a maximum of 72 hours stay. The government now says it will need 12 billion Kenya shillings to cater for normal delivery and 4.3 billion Kenya shillings to cater for cesarean section under SHA. The primary healthcare fund will cover consultation and dispensing of eyeglasses at level 2 and 3 facilities at a cost of 935 Kenya shillings with a limit of 1,000 Kenya shillings per household and is limited to beneficiaries below 18 years. The replacement of eyeglasses will be covered only after 2 years if indicated. Medical inpatient services at level 3 health facilities will be covered at a cost of 2,400 Kenya shillings per day for hospital admissions up to 50 days. The package for outpatient care services from level 4 to 6 under the Social Health Insurance Fund (SHIF) is 2,000 Kenya shillings as a fixed FFS and is limited to 4 visits per year per person. The benefits package for medical inpatient services under SHIF is 3,500 Kenya shillings for level 4 hospitals, 4,000 Kenya shillings for level 5, and 5,000 Kenya shillings for level 6 hospitals, and is limited to up to 50 days per household. Hemodialysis and hemodiafiltration will be covered at 10,650 Kenya shillings per session, with a maximum of 3 sessions per week for hemodialysis and a maximum of 2 sessions per week for hemodiafiltration. The SHIF package for peritoneal dialysis is 180,000 Kenya shillings per month, with a maximum of 12 sessions annually. The package for oncology services under SHIF is 5,000 Kenya shillings for chemo admin, 53,500 Kenya shillings for PET scan, 9,600 Kenya shillings for CT scan, and 11,000 Kenya shillings for MRI. The assistive devices package under the Emergency Chronic and Critical Illness Fund is 55,000 Kenya shillings for hearing aids, which is limited to individuals below the age of 18 and will only be issued once in a lifetime. The package for crutches, clubfoot brace, walking frames, and therapeutic footwears is 900 Kenya shillings, 1,000 Kenya shillings, 500 Kenya shillings, and 1,000 Kenya shillings, respectively. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47.
Thank you, Liz. Now, the Ministry of Health has reassured the public that all vaccines, including the polio vaccine, are safe and effective. The ministry maintains that the reactions reported after the polio vaccine was administered from October the 2nd to the 6th, 2024, were coincidental and resolved over time. And speaking during a press briefing on Saturday, Health Director General Dr. Patrick Amoth emphasized that health events occurring around the time of vaccination are not necessarily caused by the vaccine itself. Parents have been encouraged to bring their children for the second round of the polio vaccination campaign, taking place from November the 9th to 13th, 2024. And investigations by the Kenya National Vaccines Safety Advisory Committee revealed that out of 23 reported cases, 16 were classified as non-serious, 7 as serious, and 18 as coincidental.
We targeted 3.9 million children aged 0 to 59 months, and we are able to reach 3.7 million, giving us a coverage of 95%, with counties like Busia and Machakos exceeding their targets by more than 102 to 104%. Therefore, I want to call upon all Kenyans and reassure Kenyans of the safety of the polio virus, and to clearly indicate that the 2 deaths that happened in the first round of the campaign were not directly attributable to the vaccination process. Rather, they were coincidental events and not directly linked to the immunization campaign that we carried out 1 month ago.
And we did confirm that in none of these children was there any direct relationship or link with the polio vaccine. Many times when people die, as we may be aware, we are quick to blame an occurrence. We were careful to be sure that if there was a link, we established.
And in promoting the healthcare, our emphasis is to ensure that children receive wholesome care, which includes preventive health. We also do promotive health, and as well as curative.
The slain Wells Fargo Human Resource Manager Willis Ayeko was today laid to rest at his Oyenge's home in Siaya County. The late Ayeko, who went missing on 19th October before his mutilated body being discovered days later in a stream in Gem, Siaya County.
Emotions ran high as family and friends of Willis Ayeko gathered at his Oyenga village in Siaya County to pay their last respect to their loved one who lost his life after allegedly being kidnapped and his body later discovered at a stream on the border of Siaya and Kakamega counties.
And I'm calling you cowards because of what you did to the love of my life.
The face of Ayeko's wife tell it all, questions piling as to what could have happened to his dear husband after he went missing on 19th October, only to be found on 23rd brutally murdered with his body mutilated.
Because of what you did to the love of my life, you would have fought like men, but you subdued him. And so I'm not going to waste time to give you air.
According to government's chief pathologist, Dr. Johansson Ador, Ayeko succumbed to head injuries.
What we found as the injury were on the head. We found a lot of bleeding, bruising in the scalp and bleeding in the brain. So this is what led to his death.
Ayeko's family members have now appealed to the government and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations to intervene and expedite on investigations and ensure that justice is served to their slain kin.
And so I'm not going to waste time to give you air. The government will do what it's supposed to do. But above all, God will do what is supposed to be done.
These, as a section of leaders present at the burial, strongly condemned the brutal killing of the Wells Fargo boss, further calling on relevant authorities to expedite the investigations and ensure that justice is served to Willis.
The information that we have is half-baked, and I have come to the conclusion that maybe there's a bigger force that is trying to stifle investigations so that we do not get with the family of Willis and his friends do not get justice.
We must reiterate that criminals and such evil-minded persons have got no place in a civilized society. And the broad-based government that I serve in is going to do whatever it takes to deal with such negative forces.
Samira Mohammed for TV47.
The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union KMPDU has threatened to hold nationwide demonstrations starting November 30th if the government fails to address the concerns of remuneration for medical interns. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health has announced that it has disbursed 1.7 billion shillings to counties as a conditional grant. Juliet Joroge has the details.
There is hope for thousands of medical interns as Treasury confirms availability of 1.75 billion shillings in a supplementary budget that will be advanced to the Ministry of Health and disbursed to counties as a conditional grant.
The interns that are in the field who have been working for months on end will be paid, and we are processing their payments so that we are able to move away from that again.
According to a commitment letter from the Treasury to the Ministry of Health, 1.75 billion shillings will be available as agreed during a nationwide doctors' strike that paralyzed services for 56 days.
Already 1.75 has been demarcated, and Treasury has already written to us confirming that during supplementary 2 we will be able to give the basic salary arrears as a conditional grant to the counties so that they may pay their staff.
The Public Health Principal Secretary Mary Modhoni says the Presidential Task Force on Human Resources is currently finalizing on its policy formulation to give the country a human resource policy for health which has never been in place. Dr. Davji Alela, the Secretary General at the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dental Unit, says the negotiation window period will lapse after 45 days, and if it does and an agreement is not in place by then, they shall hold countrywide demonstrations to fight for the rights of medical interns. According to Health Ministry, the 1.75 billion shillings will be available in the 2024-2025 financial year, while the remaining 1.75 billion shillings will be available in the next financial year to settle the 3.5 billion shillings arrears. Consequently, doctors pursuing higher education are set to benefit as the government okays their demand for paying for postgraduate studies, which have already been budgeted for. Juliet Njoroge, TV47.
Thanks, Juliet. Presidential Economic Advisor Professor Vincent Machuki has revealed that the government is engaging all relevant institutions, including the judiciary, to resolve the ongoing lecturers' strike.
Comrades, power!
Speaking in Kakamega during the UDA Comrades Western Town Hall, Presidential Economic Advisor Professor Vincent Machuki revealed that the government is engaging all relevant institutions, including the judiciary, to resolve the ongoing lecturers' strike.
Resources that were to be provided to universities. Universities were becoming bankrupt. Now, universities have been well funded, even though some of them are still having historical issues, but the budgetary allocation to higher education has now gone up.
In a related development, Principal Secretary in the State Department of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Susan Mangeni, has encouraged university students and young people to start creating jobs even before graduating, emphasizing that entrepreneurship can empower individuals and contribute to the growth of the national economy.
My objective is to start working with you to start creating your own job before you even graduate, so that when you go outside there, you are fully economically secured.
On the topic of Kenya's health sector, Professor Machuki addressed the differences between the Social Health Insurance Fund and the Social Health Authority. He pointed out that one of the challenges Kenyans face in accessing health services is the frequent visits to the medical facilities that have not been contracted by the authority.
If you go to a facility that has not been contracted by the Social Health Authority, it is unlikely that you can benefit from social health insurance because the facility is not contracted. It will ask you to pay because it has not been contracted.
Professor Machuki also highlighted that the Kenya Kwanza government under President William Ruto's leadership is committed to addressing key challenges facing the country. These include high unemployment rates, lack of access to education, political disengagement, the digital divide, and entrenched cultural expectations.
The president's intent is to entrench constitutionalism, institutionalize politics, move from personality politics to issue-based, and democratization of the economy, to get everybody to do work and focus on the bottom of the economic pyramid.
Chichi Josephine, TV47.
The Secretary General.
Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has vowed to take legal action against the Adani Group's operations in the country, with plans to approach the courts on Monday next week. And speaking in Vihiga County, that is during the burial ceremony of Mzee Eliud Marende, the father of former National Assembly Speaker Kenneth Marende, Kalonzo alleged that the country is heading in the wrong direction. He further stated that the opposition is committed to holding the Kenya Kwanza administration accountable and ensuring that its actions are thoroughly scrutinized. Arnold with that.
Have mercy on me.
Have mercy on me.
Forgive me a sinner.
Forgive me a...
Mimi hata sina cheo kwa Azimio la Umoja, lakini nimeshikilia wenzangu angalau tudhibiti inchi isiende mbaya. Kwa hivyo mimi sitaenda njia ya rafiki zangu hao. Hata kama tutabaki wachache namna gani, hao ndio tutakomboa Kenya hii nao. Niseme Jumatatu, mimi na Eugene tunaenda kwa mahakama kupinga Andani. Andani tunampinga, you may not know this, kama wakili have the right to make appearance, and this time I chose a senior counsel to lead the team ya kukataa na uwanja wetu wa ndege usiende na mtu anaitwa Andani. Because hiyo ni respect ya Wakenya. Wafanyikazi wote Wakenya wanaofanya Kenya Airports Authority na kwingineko wako katika hatari ya kutojua watafanya nini.
Na sasa sisi tukiangalia vile kumekuwa na shida mingi na confusion kwa serikali saa hii, nyinyi umeona vile hospitali watu wanaumia. Siani ya chai ilikuwa mzuri sana. Wameleta mambo mengine, sijui ni sasi, sijui ni si, hata watu wajui ni nini. Watu wote wanalia. Silikusema kwa hiyo.
And on that note, allow us to pay some bills. We come back with more.
Vile unavyojua watoto wengi sana hawana namna. Mimi ningependelea watoto wasome.
I'm here to stress on education. At the same time, let us actually do any kind of sport that we are doing. Sport speaks the best language to everybody.
Tunataka tutafute talents. Zile raw talents kutoka kule nyumbani mashinani mahali tuko leo.
Hizi mbio za Chepsaita, like all other sports, zinaleta watu pamoja.
We want to use this event to uplift the lives of the community.
Anafurahia hii mchezo sana. Hata sikaange naambianga watu tuende Chepsaita.
Wanafunzi wakimbie ili wakuze talanta ya mbio ama kuhimiza tena elimu.
This is the place to be. Hapa ndipo mahali wanastahili kuwa tarehe 7. Wale watoto walikimbia last year, wamekimbia mpaka wamefuka mipaka zetu za Kenya.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism, how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights,
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
strategies,
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
and stories to fuel your ambition.
Welcome back to TV47 Weekend Edition. And now, following an industrial action at Kentalia Flower Farm in Naivasha 2 days ago, where workers caused significant property damage, the farm's security operations have come under scrutiny. And the Naivasha police have since taken over the investigation amid growing concerns over workers' post-retirement benefits. Our reporter Willie Dennis Jiru with that.
Post-action damage is clearly visible after irate workers at Kentalia Flower Farm vented their anger towards the outgoing general manager. Tensions boiled over as workers, frustrated over delayed benefits and alleged mismanagement, nearly confronted the manager at the company's gate.
We are investigating a number of people, especially behind the demonstrations and destructions of property on Wednesday. So far, we have not made any arrest, but we have sufficient evidence, and very soon there are people who will be arrested and charged.
And we will go on operating as usual. We will grow in future, and nobody has to fear loss of losses or loss of pension scheme.
Today, Naivasha DCC Josiah Odongo convened a meeting with the workers and security officials who have been heavily criticized for failing to prevent the unrest.
Received false information that they are being sacked by the new management. We have alleviated those fears by having the new MD, whom we have officially introduced to the staff here, explaining to everyone in person that their jobs are secure.
Workers accused management of embezzling companies' funds and misappropriating pension contribution, leaving them uncertain about their post-retirement benefits.
There are people who received letters of dismissal because of gross misconduct and abuse of office and other related issues. Such issues are under investigations.
For now, the company's internal security team is under scrutiny, with the future security services being provided by the police. The incoming general manager has promised to address the concerns and improve conditions for workers.
We are going to make sure the security in this farm is restored, and we are going to recommend a number of issues.
It's not in the interest of Kentalia. No salaries will be reduced. Nobody will touch the pension scheme. Nobody will touch the SACCO money. It was initiated as a false information through SMS by individuals, but it's not done by Kentalia PLC.
For TV47 from Naivasha, I'm Willie Dennis Njiro.
Thanks, Willie, for that. And a cooperative bank has committed 500 million Kenya shillings to support 15 water projects across Kenya, improving access to safe drinking water and sanitation in both rural and urban areas. In partnership with aquaforallwater.org and the Water and Sanitation Services Providers Association, WASPR, the initiative will provide financial support to water companies, enabling them to implement viable water supply and sanitation solutions. All right, the Big Five Construction Kenya Exposition has brought together over 150 construction industry professionals in Nairobi. The three-day event focuses on showcasing the latest products, technologies and solutions for the construction industry. And the event highlights key themes of architecture, sustainability, technology and project management. Industry leaders discussed ways to drive Kenya's construction sector forward, ensuring it is both sustainable and innovative in the years to come.
Our products and also our prices are fair. Our products are good and yeah, it's a good experience to be here. Yeah.
Maybe among the products that you have mentioned, which are the products which seem to attract them more?
We have the smart toilet, yes, the intelligent toilet in the market. Then we have the cabinets, the vanities, as you can see at
different home and kitchen appliances. That's water heaters, water purifiers, inbuilt cookers, and anything to do with the kitchen interior. So we came to the Sarit Center Expo, the Big Five Expo, and the experience has been really great. And our booth was really flooded with clients who had different questions. And I think so far the most asked product, the most interesting.
Sports news brought to you by Maybets. Join Maybets leo upate free bet papo hapo. Fanya hivi, chagua home team to win, yani number 1 au draw X au away team 2 kwa game ya siku ya free bet. Weka namba yako ya simu, weka password ya account yako, chagua submit free bet. Utapata free bet kwa account yako ya Maybets. Usisahau kuverify account yako. Kama hutakuwa verified, utapoteza free bet yako after 2 days. Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 0000578.
Maybet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia,
All right, we get sporty, and football legend Austin Oduor Makamu was laid to rest at his home in Kakamega County. Let's take a look at that.
Kogalo, Jotugo ya ye famous, John Pira Odonjie Pap, FC Gor Mahia, Alan.
Austin coached me briefly when I was in Gor Mahia, but sadly he left, and we had to get another coach. But he was a very strict guy, very strict guy.
Yeye alitakana apewe kitu kama head of state commendation, ile wakipata at least pesa marupurupu za kila mwaka, kila mwezi akiwa nyumbani kwake.
Austin has been a good example to us of how each and every one of us should live. He was a role model, not just as a soccer player, but a role model even in life, in old age, how we should live. He was extremely organized. Let us emulate Austin so that we live well with everybody that we interact with.
Lazima tuwe na some fund kama serikali, ambapo wale legends ambao hawawezi kujimudu kimaisha, tuone vile tunaweza kuingilia, tuwasaidie. Nimepata kwamba kuna 4 legends ambao wako na shida, matatizo kidogo, sitawataja majina zao, lakini tumekubaliana na Bwana Walo kwamba sisi tukirudi kule kwa ministry tutaona vile katika hiyo fund ambayo sasa tutaianzisha tutaanza kuwasaidia namna gani.
All right, over 100 players participated in the Kiambu Captain's Prize Cup held at the Kiambu Golf Club, and the tournament organized by Kiambu Golf Club captain Cesar Mugo. So Mugo highlights one of his key achievements as a captain and improving the golf course and increasing the number of players using the facility. The tournament, which began on Monday, concluded today.
have had a very successful captain competition that was running for the whole of this week. We started on Monday with the Cades tournament. On Wednesday we had a competition for our older generation, or what we would call the seniors. Then on Thursday we had the tournament for the juniors, and yesterday we had the cutting laser. Say the course is in perfect condition. The fairways are running very well. The greens are good, and we expect that the best golfer will win this competition.
Athletics Kenya Youth Development Chairperson Barnaba Korir has assured Kenyans that the federation will hold its elections next year, stating that the necessary structures are in place to conduct the process. Korir's comments comes after Athletics Kenya has been unable to hold elections so far due to ongoing court cases that have delayed the process.
In Athletics Kenya, the reason why we are doing so well is because of the structures that we have. We have from the grassroots, and the CS himself saw the structures that we have. He saw how organized we are from the grassroots, from the sub-counties, to the counties, to the regions, to national. And everybody from every corner of this country, from North Oro to Mandera, all the way to Butalangi, to Nyanza, all the officials were there, and they know what they are doing, and they are organizing, and that is why we have the structures that are ongoing. The people who want to vote is just to mess up, because we want to do elections. Why would anybody want to stay in office? I don't want to stay in office unless I am elected. But we have to be given that opportunity to do an election.
Sports news brought to you by Maybets. Join Maybets leo upate free bet papo hapo. Fanya hivi, chagua home team to win, yani number 1, au draw X, au away team 2 kwa game ya siku ya free bet. Weka namba yako ya simu, weka password ya account yako, chagua submit free bet. Utapata free bet kwa account yako ya Maybets. Usisahau kuverify account yako. Kama hutakuwa verified, utapoteza free bet yako after 2 days. Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 0000578.
Maybet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia, inavutia.
All right, and of course, that is where we close the news beat and we get to this conversation. It's a bit different on her say tonight because we grabbed Honorable Gathoni Wamuchomba, the Githunguri Member of Parliament, aside just to hear what she would say about the expectations or her expectations that is on, of course, the 16 days of activism that begin on the 24th of November. That is all the way to the 10th, channeled towards addressing gender-based violence. And she is so keen on addressing this one matter that has been a concern on matters health, that is obstetric, yeah, it's quite a tongue twister, based violence. And she says this is quite rampant in many healthcare facilities today as mothers proceed to give birth, and therefore she wishes to see this addressed at that level. Of course, she has presented a groundbreaking bill that she seeks to see debated in Parliament and later on, if all goes well, assented to law. And so we just listen to what it is that the plans are and of importance, just what the women parliamentarians are planning for this very 16 days of activism. Allow us to take a quick short breather, and of course we'll be coming back with that conversation. Don't go anywhere.
Vile unavyojua watoto wengi sana hawana namna. Mimi ningependelea watoto wasome.
I met the stress on education. At the same time, let us actually
to any kind of sport that we are doing. Sport speaks the best language to everybody.
Tunataka tutafute talents, zile raw talents kutoka kule nyumbani mashinani mahali tuko leo.
Hizi mbio za Chepsaita, like all other sports, zinaleta watu pamoja.
We want to use this event to uplift the lives of the community.
Anafurahia hii mchezo sana. Hata sikaange naambianga watu tuende Chepsaita.
Wanafunzi wakimbie ili wakuze talanta ya mbio ama kuhimiza tena elimu.
This is the place to be. Hapa ndipo mahali wanastahili kuwa tarehe 7. Wale watoto walikimbia last year, wamekimbia mpaka wamefuka mipaka zetu za Kenya.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism, how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Vile unavyojua watoto wengi sana hawana namna. Mimi ningependelea watoto wasome.
I'm here to stress on education. At the same time, let us actually do any kind of sport that we are doing. Sport speaks the best language to everybody.
Tunataka tutafute talents. Zile raw talents kutoka kule nyumbani mashinani mahali tuko leo.
Hizi mbio za Chepsaita, like all other sports, zinaleta watu pamoja.
We want to use this event to uplift the lives of the community.
Anafurahia hii mchezo sana. Hata sikaange naambianga watu tuende Chepsaita.
Wanafunzi wakimbie ili wakuze talanta ya mbio ama kuhimiza tena elimu.
This is the place to be. Hapa ndipo mahali wanastahili kuwa tarehe 7. Wale watoto walikimbia last year, wamekimbia mpaka wamefuka mipaka zetu za Kenya.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30.
And as they say with technology, you must always be ready for so many surprises, sometimes on the negative. My director says that, of course, because of some technical hitch, we'll not be able to play that interview. But you need not to worry because we'll be fixing it to play for you later. It was great having you, and of course as well updating you on what is in the world of news. I look forward to see you again some other time. That is Tuesday precisely. As I say, kwaheri sana, and thank you for always keeping it TV47. In a bit, you'll be getting to jam into some reggae vibes. That is, of course, once I